Hey Big Bulls, it's Thursday and we're back with yet another edition of Bullseye. Today we're going to talk about Tata Motors demerger, what's new, what new gold loan rules are stressing the likes of gold loan companies like Muthoot Finance, and a confidential IPO by Tata Capital. What does it mean? Let's get started. For 78 years, Tata Motors has made all sorts of automobiles, from passenger vehicles like the Indica and Nexon to luxury cars like Jaguar Land Rover to the biggest trucks on the road that ferries goods. They're top dog in the automotive world. But after keeping everything under one roof for so long, last year it decided it was time for a change. The company made the bold move to split the two businesses, commercial and passenger vehicles, into separate entities. This is a game-changer decision to set the stage for a fresh chapter in their story. It's also part of Tata Motors' push to simplify things, which kicked off in 2022 as part of the chairman's plan to streamline the group's overall structure. So, this is how Tata Motors said it'll split things up. The whole commercial vehicles business, which is the trucks, the buses, and the works, plus all the assets, liabilities, employees, and investments, are being spun off into a fresh company called TML Commercial Vehicles Limited. Meanwhile, the passenger vehicle stuff, the cars, the electric vehicles, is sticking around in the current setup under Tata Motors Passenger Vehicles Limited. And the cherry on top? So when Tata Motors announced its demerger plan, it revealed that the share ratio would be 1:1. This means shareholders will keep the same stake in both Tata Motors passenger vehicles and TML commercial vehicles. For every Tata Motors share, you'll get one share of TML-CV, each worth a face value of rupees 2. A simple, straightforward split for shareholders. So all eyes are now on May 6th when the shareholder meeting to vote on a plan to shuffle around these two divisions will take place. This will be the moment to decide how to move forward with the demerger. It's also a crucial step before we get to the other key dates tied to the process. So, when the RBI governor on Wednesday announced that they were cutting interest rates by 25 bips to 6%, he also dropped a hint about issuing new rules for gold-backed loans. Now, this didn't go over too well with the gold loan stocks, Manappuram, Muthoot Finance, IIFL Finance, the big players in the gold loan market. Their shares took a beating after that announcement. And they did that for a reason. See, giving loans against gold are a huge part of their business. For Muthoot, it's 98% of their total assets, which is the whole pie. And for Manappuram, it's 50%. And for IFL, it's 21%. So a little news about regulations on gold loans and their stocks went into freefall. Gold loans, which are secured by gold jewelry, are a go-to option for people who need quick cash or small business funding. So everyone immediately thought that the RBI was to introduce stricter rules for gold loans across the board, and that could hurt businesses like Manappuram and Muthoot. But then the governor cleared things up in the post-policy press conference, saying that he never mentioned anything about tightening the gold loan rules. And he said, in our mind, there's no tightening, but rather a rationalization of rules. So basically, he meant that, hey, relax, we're just making things clearer, not harsher. And the RBI is doing it now because banks, NBFCs, and everyone else have a different set of rules for gold loans. So the RBI just wants to make things a little bit more consistent across the board, probably to make sure gold loans are given out responsibly. In the governor's words, in order to harmonize guidelines across various types of regulated entities, we shall issue comprehensive regulations on prudential norms and conduct related aspects for such loans. He even mentioned that the RBI would release a draft of these new guidelines soon and would be taking feedback before finalizing them. So after the clarification, these stocks did recover a bit, but it ended the day lower. But all eyes will be on the draft to see whether it'll change anything or it's just another set of rules that will make everyone scratch their heads. So in 2022, SEBI decided to shake things up a bit with a new rule where companies could keep their draft red herring prospectuses, the DRHPs, totally private until they're really ready to take the plunge for an IPO, which means the juicy details of the IPO stay locked up and confidential until the final stages. But why would companies opt for this? Well, they would keep their IPO filings hush-hush to prevent sensitive stuff and market strategies going out to the public. It would also give them an easy way out if they decide to pull the plug on the IPO. Plus, they get to check in with the regulators first, so they're not caught off guard and they get more time to make sure that everything's up to code. It gives the option to pull back or tweak the offering before making it public, mostly to get more time to dot the I's and cross the T's. Even in the US, this practice has become quite common, with newer companies like Uber, Lyft, and Spotify all opting for confidential filings over there. In India too, it seems more and more likely that companies are choosing this path to keep things quieter before going public. Tata Play was the first to take this route, even though it's not listed yet. Since then, Oyo and Swiggy also went down this route, and now Tata Capital is the eighth company to do the same. Boat has also followed suit, opting for the confidential filing process for its IPO. Word on the street is that Tata Capital IPO is going to be valued at a whopping 15,000 crore rupees. And if true, that will be Tata Group's second big listing in just a couple of years following Tata Technologies making its debut in 2023. It'll include fresh shares from the company and an offer for sale from some of its existing shareholders. So we'll have to stay tuned to see what Tata Capital will be up to. And that's it, folks, from this edition of The Bullseye. We'll catch you the same time next week. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you enjoy watching our videos. Hit that like button and probably hit that bell icon too when you want to know when the next episode drops. We'll see you next Thursday.